Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to a new edition of Urban Sentinel Live. Yes, it's Monday night, and we are back again. We are back again with Raven Thissel. Raven, how are you doing on this Monday night?
I'm doing so well. I'm so honored and grateful that you're having me back, and I'm excited to talk about the topic tonight.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, if you joined us last week, we had part one of our show. So, 30 minutes is a lot of time to get things, get into the subject matter. So, I thought, hey, we'll have a part two tonight with Raven on healing and meditation. Just to give you a little background on Raven before we get started, I'm going to read her bio. I'm going to read it word for word. Raven Thissel is an activist, communications consultant, and business strategist. Thistle's education as a holistic health coach and her background in public relations and marketing have uniquely positioned her to exercise her passion for social advancement in a variety of ways. When she observed the climbing rates of suicide and stress related illness among Black Americans, Thistle found a grounded and calm company with the mission of empowering Black communities with meditation and other holistic health tools. She serves as marketing and PR director of the Doug Williams Center, creating solutions for racial and gender disparities in the professional sports industry. She is the CEO of Thessa Consulting, where she provides executive leadership to cultural innovation initiatives and other solutions for impactful organizations. And that's Raven. So, Raven, check this out. When we ended on last Monday night, you were talking about, and that's where I want to pick up at, and I'm going to let you do your thing. You talking about a black gentleman who had called you, and tell us that story again, please.
Yes. So on Facebook, a young man reached out. He was having severe suicidal thoughts. And I provided him with the King Vibe system, which is a meditation and mindfulness system that I created for Black men. And a week later, he was already seeing results, and that was last week. He let me know that he was having much better control of his thoughts and starting to feel hopeful. And I could sit here and tell you many other stories like this one. I'm so grateful that the system is already helping so many Black men. Thus far, I have not completed the women's system. I'm in the studio, I'm working on it now. And I'm really looking forward to being able to have the same impact for Black women.
Okay, okay. So look, tonight we want to learn a little more about meditation. Meditation. So I want you to talk to us tonight about meditation.
Sure. So I guess I'll start off with um, my own introduction to meditation. I was actually in therapy. I'm a huge advocate for everyone getting therapy. And at the time, I was experiencing some severe anxiety, the type of anxiety that kind of keeps you up at night. And at times, I would have panic attacks. And at the time, I was also pregnant. So it was very scary for me. And my therapist recommended something called mindfulness. She taught me about mindfulness, and I'd never heard of it before. Mindfulness is basically bringing your awareness and your attention into the present moment. And so the techniques were so simple and so effective for me. I fell in love with mindfulness very quickly because it was just like night and day what I experienced from being in high anxiety state the majority of the time to having that tool to be able to quickly bring that down. And then from mindfulness, from doing more research on mindfulness, from reading books about mindfulness, because I just kind of got really obsessed with it, I learned more about meditation. And obviously, we've all heard about meditation, but from practicing mindfulness, I actually started to practice meditation. And that's when the real changes for me began. Reggie, I started to notice that I was having a better response to situations in my life. I noticed that I was having better focus on things at work, having better focus on just day to day activities, not getting distracted so easily in conversations. I was finding just myself having more peace in general, healing from things from my past in a way that I just really had never been able to heal before. I had more gratitude. I was just more understanding and compassionate to other people because I had a better understanding of myself. And the list goes on. I could sit here all day and tell you how meditation has changed my life. But when I returned to my home state of Louisiana a few years ago, and I was reunited with a lot of my family there, and just meeting a lot of new people in different ways, I was noticing the ways that a lack of healing was impacting my people. I was noticing very clearly how meditation and mindfulness could help everyone that I knew. Um, and I quickly became like that kooky hippie at the cookout that's like trying to get you into the holistic stuff that you think is for somebody else. But I wanted a way to make mental health and emotional health tools easily accessible for Black people in the privacy of their homes, um, understanding that many Black people don't feel comfortable going to therapy or a doctor because the Black community and the American health system just don't have a good rapport, right? So there's a lot of very due resistance and hesitance there. So this is not meant to be a substitution for therapy, but a gateway into having good mental and emotional hygiene.
Okay, okay, okay. So, what type of meditations are there? Is there A, B, C, D, E, or is just one way to meditate? Talk to us about that.
Great question. So there are lots of different types of meditation, and I won't name them all. I will tell you though about some ways that you can use it. I think that might be more beneficial because, and I say that just because I know a lot of the people viewing may have no relationship at all with meditation. So I don't want to go into all the jargon, but I do want to tell you some different ways that you can use meditation. So, one of the ways that you can use meditation is to learn to heal from your own traumas. And so, the way that you do that, the way that meditation works, is that you are sitting with your feelings, you're sitting with your thoughts, you're allowing yourself to feel them and experience them. Some misconceptions that people have about meditation. You have to be a monk. You have to also do yoga. You have to become vegan. You got to abandon your religious beliefs. None of those things are true. And then another thing that I hear often is that I can't do this because I can't quiet my mind, right? Like I have too many thoughts, and quieting my mind is just impossible for me. Meditation is not about quieting your mind. It's about observing your thoughts. So it's okay that you have a lot of thoughts in your mind. One of the ways that you can meditate is just by allowing yourself to think the thoughts and watching them come and go, trying not to judge them. So that's the non judgmental thought way. I won't use the technical jargon. Um, so there's one. Another way that you can meditate is by doing a mindfulness meditation, and that is where you bring your attention into the present moment. A lot of people do this by focusing on their breath, and that's a powerful tool because your breath, it anchors you into the present. You can't go and collect a breath from your past, and you can't go grab a breath from your future. You only have the one that you're breathing right now. And so, if you're feeling anxious, I would highly recommend the type of meditation where you simply focus your awareness on your breath, um, and try to bring your breath down and make it very slow. And I can teach a quick breathing exercise here if you would like.
Go
Sure.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, this is called Ujjayi breathing. And Ujjayi breathing, it's a loud breath. It is an intentional breath. And I taught this once to a truck driver friend, and I didn't think he was listening. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, he called me. He told me that his son had been rushed to the hospital states away. He was having an anxiety attack because his baby boy, I think he was 2, and he wasn't there. He was going to the hospital, and he says he started breathing heavy. He remembered the ujjayi breathing while he was driving, and it instantly calmed him down. So I'm going to teach you guys this technique right now. What you want to do anytime you're breathing is always bring your breath down into your belly, and you want your belly to rise when you inhale and to fall when you exhale. Babies naturally breathe this way, but as we get older, we start to breathe into our chest, and that's anxious breathing. But when we bring our breath all the way down into our belly, when we inhale, and then when you're ujjayi breathing, you want to exhale loudly through your mouth. You should be able to hear yourself breathing, and it's loud and it may feel a little weird, but if you do that a few times, it will naturally reduce your heart rate if you're feeling anxious. So one style of meditation, like I said, is to focus on your breathing, and there are tons of different ways to breathe that do different things for your body. Um, I'm taking it away so much, Reggie. Feel free to interrupt.
Oh no, I'm not, this is where I
Okay.
was. This is where I was.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Tony posted a question. Tony said, "What would you say was the common denominator that struck you when seeing that our people are broken and have not healed?"
Okay. In dating, that's the place where I saw, not just with my own dating life, I've been single for several years now, but also in the dating lives of the men and women that I knew, the stories that I was hearing. What I was hearing was unhealed trauma, unhealed trauma, unhealed trauma, mommy issues, daddy issues. I was hearing these themes over and over and experiencing these themes as well. And the way that they create that familial breakdown. We talked a lot about that on the first session that we did, just about how that trickles down generation to generation. It affects the relationship between partners, and then it affects the children, and then nobody ever kind of takes the time to really understand how to heal and recover. And then we carry those things on into future relationships. So, to answer your question, the theme I would say is broken and hurting relationships. And that's what really inspired me to create something to help people heal. And I started with Black men because from my perspective at the time, Black men, I know, and this is always going to be true, Black men face a very unique set of challenges to anyone else on the face of the planet. Um, Black women also face a very unique set of challenges. In my personal belief, the Black man is intended to lead us as a community into our desired state, right? Now, men and women, we work together to do this ultimately. But I wanted to start with the men's healing because one, I noticed the suicide rate among Black men climbing more quickly than any other demographic, and getting younger and younger for the Black men. And then secondly, I understood that Black women would be responsive to Black men who are healed, right? Um, and vice versa. So I created the King Vibe system, and it sorry, it consists of 10 audio tracks. And these audio tracks are guides that take you through a meditative session or a frequency increasing session or a mindfulness session. And it also consists of an ebook. I wrote this ebook. It's a short and quick read, but what it does is it gives you the basics of meditation. It explains to you how to use those 10 audio guides. And then it gives you a foundation for where to take your meditation practice from there on. Now, the way the system is designed, it is designed for a beginner or a seasoned meditator. Either one can get a lot out of this. The first track is called Enter Your Kingdom. In the Black community, we often refer to each other as king or as queen, and even people outside of our community now are using the terminology. We have our particular reasons, right? But I'm not referring to you as a king or as a queen because you are Black in the system. I'm referring to you as a king because you are responsible and you are the champion of your own mental, emotional, physical, social, spiritual space. And you must keep it clean. You must lead it. You must keep whomever and whatever you want in and out of it. And so, in order to be the king of your own dominions in that way, you must have the proper tools. So, the first one is Enter Your Kingdom, and it teaches you how to create a safe space in your mind. There's one called What Stress. It's only 15 minutes long. If you're having a stressful day at work, you can use this on your lunch break. 15 minutes, and you will experience extremely reduced stress. There's one track for healing emotionally. There's another one for relationships. You can welcome your partner, your mother, your child into that session with you. And ultimately, each track gets a little bit longer. So, another thing that I mentioned in the last call was that men have this beautiful gift, this natural way of prioritizing and taking care of the people that they love. So, they may work themselves to death and never take the time to really address what it is that they need. They think that they're serving and helping everyone by doing that, but ultimately, they really are hurting everyone because they're not doing it from a healed place. So, because men are so selfless in this way and they give their time and energy devotedly to the people around them, neglecting themselves, it can feel very uncomfortable to devote even 5 minutes just to only thinking about you and whatever you have going on. So, progressively throughout the system, each track gets longer. So, you're going from spending 10 minutes on yourself to by the end spending 55 minutes on yourself. And in that time, you're increasing your tolerance for dealing with whatever's going on. And it's not all negative. There's even a track that's encouraging gratitude and helping you to walk in thankfulness and all of the scientific and medical benefits of living in gratitude. So that's about the meditation system and what inspired it because of the types of issues that I was seeing on a consistent basis.
Okay. I tell you, listening to you, uh, very profound. Okay. So,
Mm.
what gives you the inspiration to develop these programs that you have developed? What inspires you?
What inspires me?
Yeah, or who inspires you?
I love my people. I
Hmm.
love myself. Um, I really love myself and my family. I mean, I love people, and my love for people is deep and sincere. When I meet someone new, I care. When I say how are you doing, I really want to know. And so that's what really inspires me. I'm constantly inspired. People's pain inspires me. People's stories inspire me. Their families inspire me. Their love, their own desires. I want to see people thriving, and I have found ways to thrive. I must share them. I feel compelled on a daily basis to share them.
Very interesting because, as you said earlier, black men, we are out here hustling, okay?
Yeah.
And we don't give ourselves time enough to wind down, because we constantly at it. We go a lifetime of doing until we are 6 feet under, and that's basically how we live our lives as black men. Because we feel like we had to be the provider, we had to be the everything. And I think you're right. We do need to take time for ourselves, but we don't know how. So how do you figure out that you need to take time for yourself to keep your mental stability together?
The easy answer is everyone does. And if you're not doing that, then you're hurting the people around you. That
Hmm.
is just point blank, period. In some way or other, you're not delivering the fullness of what you have to offer to anyone, including yourself. If you are not dealing with yourself and growing, if you're not committed to growing as a person. And I will sort of combat something that I said. I don't want to give the idea that Black men don't ever rest or relax, right? We have this entire culture of Black men playing video games and going to basketball games and football. And it's this gaming sort of approach to relaxation, right? Nothing wrong with it. Take your vacations, travel, read, whatever it is that you like to do for leisure. But this is a different type of time. I hear a lot of people say, basketball, that's my meditation, or cooking, that's my meditation. Yes, those things can be very relaxing for us. Meditation has a different purpose. So we're taking this time to intentionally go inward. We're taking this time to get to know ourselves. And so when you're sitting, I'm going to reference my notes. I'm going to talk for just a second about some of the challenges of meditation. So sometimes, and this is one of the things, one of the reasons that I think a lot of Black men avoid that thinking time. And you see things like, maybe a man being a player. He spends all his time with women. He's sleeping with this woman, that woman. He can't be alone for by himself for 15 minutes because he is running from those thoughts, right? So there's some different ways that people avoid those thoughts. Video games, sometimes it is an escapism. Sports, sometimes it's about escaping. It's not about relaxing. So it's about being honest with yourself about what your real intention is. So during that meditation time, one of the challenges that people face is they hit a point where thinking and sitting in their feelings makes them sad or makes them feel overwhelmed. And I would say that your challenge in that space is to attempt not to judge your thoughts as good or bad. And your challenge in that space is to try not to judge yourself for what you're feeling, to allow yourself to just feel. It might be a moment where you need to cry. You might need to release something, and that is healthy. It's so good. It might be a moment where you need to laugh, like you need to express the joy, or you may feel nothing. You may feel numb about some things, and just sitting with that and exploring that in yourself will teach you so much about you. And when you understand these things about yourself, you take them into every situation. You're able to be more patient with your loved ones. You're able to be more patient on your job with your mean ass, customers or whomever it is, because now you're operating from a place of self compassion and self understanding. You're not operating from a place of resentment and compassion. I'm sorry, resentment and anger against the people who are expressing themselves because you're not. Does this make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it
Okay,
does. It
good.
does. Because
Yeah,
I've been one of those guys that going to basketball games is a way for me to relax. Okay,
yeah,
and you probably relax for that moment when you had the
yeah,
game, but when you go back out into the world, you still faced with the same situations, you still dealing with the same problems, and you really haven't really relaxed yourself. It's just a temporary fix. A temporary
yes.
fix because even at the
And so that's the
basketball games,
difference.
yeah, even at basketball game, you're thinking about what you got to do, what you haven't done, and what the next day is going to be like the next week, or what bill you got to pay, or things of that nature and everything. Tony said, "What would that be like centering, like in the religion of Buddhism, chanting?"
No, not necessarily. Meditation is not a religious event unless you make it one. You can choose to meditate on your religious beliefs. You can choose a scripture if you're a Christian. You can choose a scripture from the Bible, and you can choose to allow that to be the thing that you bring your focus back to. So let's say you're meditating. This is a different type of meditation, yet another one. Meditating, you've chosen a scripture, and these other thoughts come into your head. You just continue, you allow those thoughts to come, and you bring your awareness back to the verse that you've chosen, or what have you. Um, and I've centered so much about Black men that I didn't talk about Black women. I didn't talk about Black children, but hopefully we'll have some more time to do that.
Oh yeah.
And anyone who's interested in hearing more about those things is welcome to follow Crowned Calm Co on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and I have live conversations there with experts in the field about Black holistic health and wellness. And then if you have topics or questions, you are welcome to email me or reach out on any of those social media platforms or visit crownedcalm.com, and I would be so glad to engage in any of these topics.
This has been a very enlightening 2 weeks. Okay, this is the second week. It's been very enlightening because like I said last week, the black community, we have to start dealing with mental health issues and people like the illness that it is, and we need to seek therapy or whatever we need to seek to get ourselves together and stop looking at it as taboo for us to deal with our mental health.
It's
Okay,
essential. And I
yeah,
do
it
want to
is.
also mention, if you go to crowncalm.com, you can purchase the King Vibe system. It's available now. It's been available for the last year. A lot of men are using it. I constantly get good feedback about it, helping people. And then the women's system, Queen Vibes, is available for pre order. If you want to purchase it for a woman that you love, that you care about, or if you are that woman who you love and care about. I know I'm a woman that I love and care about. So I buy myself a lot of things, but but I think this is something that will always benefit you.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. So for our viewers, we've been talking to Raven Thissel, part two of healing and meditation, and she's an expert in what she does, and she's so great at what she does. We're going to have her back again in November, on November 22nd, and I'm gonna let her drive. I'm gonna let her sit in the driver's seat then, and I'm gonna sit back and kind of listen. Okay, so she's got a little more than a month to prepare her show for the 22nd. Because I really, with everything that's been going on in this world, everything we have to deal with in the black community, everything we have to deal with as blacks here in the United States, we have to have this information. We have to learn how to take care of our mental health and, with our family issues and problems. Going through this pandemic has been enough to keep everyone's anxiety level at a high level. We got to learn how to deal with that because we lost a lot of friends and loved ones through this pandemic. So this is stuff that I endorse. This is stuff that we all need. You sit out there scratching your head, like, I'm okay. You're not. Don't even go there, because we all experience some type of anxiety in our lives. Okay, some are worse than others, but we all experience some type of anxiety in our lives. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. I've experienced anxiety before, and I think we got to face up to it. We just really got to face up to it and not be afraid. So again, I want to thank Raven for being with us tonight, and enlightening us, giving us some food for thought, and hopefully this is information that's helping someone. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help someone. So tomorrow night on Real World News TV, we're going to be talking about subpoenas and searching for a suspect. The subpoenas are going out to the guys in Congress who don't want to act right concerning January 6th, and searching for a suspect. We're going to be talking about the young lady who Brian Laundrie is supposedly has, they feel like he has something to do with her death. So we're going to be discussing that. And good topic of conversation. Um, Brian said, okay, Tony posted, someone wanted to know your website. So hopefully they're going to go to the website and find the information that they need. So what's your final word for us for tonight, baby?
My final word for you for tonight, if I could only say one thing, it's please love yourself. Find ways to show yourself deep love, hug your inner child, find peace, and find ways to laugh and enjoy life, okay?
Hey, that's some good words for me. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Real World News TV comes on at 8:30 uh, Eastern Time on the Real World News page. So go to Facebook, and if you haven't already liked it, go to Facebook and like Real World News TV. Again, I want to thank Raven for being with us tonight and last Monday night. And again, Raven will be with us again on November the 22nd at 8:30, and she will be in the driver's seat. I'm gonna be sitting back, laid back, taking it easy. I'm gonna let her run the show. and everything. 'Cause like I said, I really believe in uh, the aspect of you taking care of your whole body, not just the aches and pains. Take care of your mental stuff too. So next week we'll be at it again next week. I don't have a guest yet, but I'm gonna find one. So everyone come back next Monday night at 8:30 for Urban Sentinel Live. Again, I want to thank Raven for hanging out with us the last 2 Monday nights. Again, she'll be back November 22nd. We're going to keep pushing her because she's got some good stuff for us. So until then, Raven, take care and have a good week. Everyone else, take care and have a good week. Peace out.
Have a good week. Bye.